Hi guys, today I would like to discuss about Gauss's law. So Gauss's law gives a general relationship between the net flux. It gives a relationship between the net flux through a surface the net flux through a surface. It's supposed to be closed surface. The net flux through a closed surface and charge enclosed by the surface. Here the relation between the net flux through a closed surface and charge enclosed by the surface. So Gauss's law gives the relationship between these two concepts. Now consider an example. So here the example. Consider you have a positive charge. So this is a positive charge. Now you'd like to find what is the electric flux through this positive charge. Now here Gauss's law says you select a closed surface. You select a closed surface and the total flux through the surface, it means that is only the net flux. You select a closed surface and the total flux through the surface and to this charge. So it is having certain relationship. We need to figure it out what is the relationship. So for that, here we need to do a clever choice. The choice of clever, we need to take a closed surface. Suppose if this is a spherical surface which is the exactly enclosing the charge. So this closed surface only we often call Gaussian surface. Now this closed surface, this surface should be closed. It means suppose if you take a positive charge in the air itself and you select a surface just like balloon, take a balloon and enclose the charge. Just enclose it like that. Now charge is in the middle of the balloon. Now the charge is enclosed by the balloon. Now here the balloon only we are calling Gaussian surface. The balloon only we are calling Gaussian surface. Now just imagine if you are having the positive charge. So positive charge everywhere electric field lines it will gives outside. It will becomes from the positive to outside. So when we want to find the flux, we need to have the two things. Either one is the electric field, second one is the elemental area. Suppose if I take the radius of the Gaussian surface equal to r, I would like to find electric field through this small elemental surface. Small elemental surface means small portion. So to find out the flux, I need two things. One is the area vector. The area vector is along in this direction. Area vector is always radially outward, and at this location you can take this area is small elemental area ds. In this small elemental length area, what is the electric field directions? Since it's the positive charge, the electric field is also comes radially outwards. So the area vector and the electric field vector, so they both are in the same direction. The area vector and the electric field vector. I'll draw the electric field vector over at here, the same color. Now the electric field vector and the area vector, they are representing in the same directions. If E bar is the electric field and ds is the small elemental area, what's the flux I can write? The flux I can write d phi E electric flux equal to E bar dot ds. The dot product. Here the dot product, since they don't have any angle between them goes to 0, which equal to E bar ds bar. I supposed to write EDS cos theta, and the theta value becomes 0, it will become E bar ds bar. To calculate the net flux, it means the flux through this whole surface, the Gaussian surface what we have chosen there at here, the net flux through this charge enclosed by the surface to the whole surface. So now the surface is in 3 dimensions. We need to select the total surface area of the Gaussian surface or spherical surface. So to write the net flux, so I have to calculate the total flux. The total flux phi E equal to, what shall I can do? I can do integration. So this is integral d phi E. And this integration having special, so we can call it as a closed integral. So I can represent that as, so this we can call as closed integral. So this circle over the integration symbol represents the integration goes to closed integral. Now here we have to do the same integration to closed integral, because the surface itself is a closed surface. E bar dot ds. Now the net flux phi E. So in this integration E bar, electric field remains constant, because throughout the surface electric field remains constant. So we can pull that out of integration. So phi is equal to E bar times closed integral ds bar. Since the surface is a Gaussian surface, and we know that what is the surface integral of this sphere. The surface integral of this sphere, we can write phi E equal to E bar times 4 pi r square. That is the surface integral of a sphere. Since that sphere is equal to a spherical surface, the area of a sphere, which is also you can write called area. Since we have taken only surface, it contributes only area. Now, if we can plug in the value of the electric field at that point, so the electric field at that point will give times So k q by r square times 4 pi r square. Now substitute the value of k value. Flux pi E equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught times q upon r square times 4 pi r square. Now 4 pi gets cancelled and r square gets cancelled. So we end up a great relation, the total flux or the net flux phi E equal to q by epsilon naught. So the total flux, that is our task. Our task is, what is the total flux because of this positive charge? So the positive charge here, what we selected. So because of this positive charge, the net flux through it in all the 3 dimensions, which gives a simplest relation, flux pi E equal to q by epsilon naught. So here you can see the flux is a purely dependent factor of what is the charge enclosed by the surface. So the flux pi is directly proportional to charge. The flux is not dependent on r. So Gauss's law gives a very handy relation, a very easy to relate what is the total flux and the charge enclosed. There only one thing we need to select. We need to select a clever selection of a closed surface. So this closed surface might be any shape. The Gaussian surface might be any shape, but it should be closed surface. So to this simplest example, we have chosen a spherical Gaussian surface. Now if you can take another surface, suppose if you have a infinite line charge wire, a thin wire of infinite length, you wish to find what is the net flux through the surface. By the time, we need to select a clever selection of Gaussian surface. It means the charged object and the Gaussian surface should be set in relate. And moreover, this Gauss law applies at a certain point to a symmetrically charged distribution objects. And if we can able to relate these two concepts very clearly, so then it is easy to find the total flux. So let's see some very important points before applying Gauss's law. Here one positive charge. So the positive charge is enclosed by different surfaces. You can observe surface S1 and surface S2 and surface S3. And these 3 surfaces are having different shapes. So surface S2 and S3 are having arbitrary shape, and surface S1 is having as an asymmetrical shape, a sphere. So what is the net flux through these all 3 surfaces? Do you think will be different or the total flux will be same? By seeing this figure, you can understand the electric field lines are coming out or piercing or just punching the surface or piercing and coming out or look same. So how many electric field lines are coming from the surface S1? So those many only coming from S2 and those many only coming from S3. So you can apply the Gauss's law to adhere any surface. So but the surface should be as a closed surface. That is the condition. That's why we are writing in the surface integral, this surface goes to a closed surface. And not only that, we need to select such a surface, so that surface we can integrate easily. Suppose if you know how to integrate the surface S3 through that closed surface, yeah, you can easy to select the surface and you can apply the Gauss's law. So it is the irrespective of the surface, but the surface should be as a closed surface. So I can say that once, the net flux is same through all surfaces. So if you know how to integrate these three different surfaces, surface S1, since it is symmetry, we are having the formula, we can easily apply the formula. But surface S2, we need to work it out because it is an irregular shape, integration will be little difficult. And surface S3, it is also bigger in surface but irregular in shape. But whichever the surface you select, and that surface should be closed surface, it is a very important case, and that surface should be enclosed by the charge. The charge should be enclosed. So this is the very first condition to satisfy Gauss's law. See the second condition. The second condition is at here. Now the charge Q is at one place, but the Gaussian surface what you selected, this is a Gaussian surface, closed Gaussian surface. Here you can see the Gaussian surface is not enclosed the charge. It is not enclosed the charge. So in this case, what is the net flux? What is the net flux? So if you can write the flux formula according to Gauss formula, the net flux pi equal to Q upon epsilon naught. So this is the Gauss's law you can get. And this flux, the total flux equal to Q, the charge, here precisely I would like to write everywhere charge enclosed. So in the above the derivation also, if I wish, I could mention that in the derivation at here, that is supposed to be charge enclosed. The net flux pi equal to charge enclosed by the surface divided by epsilon naught permittivity. So in this case, what is the net flux? So here the net flux equal to, according to Gauss's law, flux pi equal to charge enclosed by the surface. Now, but in the figure you can see the surface what you have selected, it do not enclose the charge. Charge is somewhere and the closed surface is another. Now if you can see clearly how many electric field lines are the going through the surface and those many coming out. So this electric field line is piercing at here and it is coming out at here. It is piercing at here and it is coming out at here, and here it is entering, it is coming out. The fourth one entering, coming out, and the fifth one entering and the coming out. So here we need to write what is the net flux. Net means the total flux through the surface. Now the total flux through the surface is 0 because no electric field lines are staying inside. How many electric field lines are the going through the surface? Those many are the coming out. So the total net flux here in this case goes to 0, because the reason is that only the surface is not enclosed by the charge. So in this case, the Gauss's law tells the net flux through the closed surface is equal to 0. If you can see that the number of field lines entering the surface is equal to the number of field lines leaving the surface, because we do not enclose the Gaussian surface through the positive charge. That's why the net flux is equal to 0. So to apply the Gauss's law, we need to enclose the charge. We need to select such a surface, and that surface should enclose, should cover the charge. Then only our problem gets simplified. Now let's apply the Gauss's law to multiple charges. So how it affects? Suppose see it here, I am having here multiple charges, and here I too have different Gaussian surface. Let us see at here first surface S. Now this surface S is enclosed by this negative charge Q1, and also this negative charge Q1 is surrounded by another charges. Here the Q2 and the Q4 and the Q3 also present. Of course, because of these charges, there is an effect of the electric field. But we have chosen the Gaussian surface as this is the Gaussian surface through this charge Q1 only. If you find the net flux through this surface, so the net flux through this surface do not disturb by the vicinity of the other charges. So because our Gaussian surface do not extended above the charge, so it is only limited to that charge Q1. So there is no chance to affect the net flux because of the other charges. Now you can see as a second case at here. Now, so this is the second surface S double dash, an orbital surface. Of course, at the surface S double dash, electric field lines are present. Yeah, because of this because of this negative charge, the electric field lines are going in this direction, and because of this negative charge, these electric field lines are going in this directions, and because of this positive charge, the electric field lines are going, and because of this positive charge also, electric field lines are going. The electric field lines are going through the surface, but if you can apply the Gauss's law to this surface, what is the net flux value you can write? The net flux value through surface S double dash. The flux through the surface S double dash is equal to, it's 0. Why? Because here there is no charge enclosed. Here there is no charge enclosed. If there is no charge enclosed, there is no net flux, even though the surface you select in the vicinity of the electric field. Now you can see the third point as a multi charges. Suppose you take the surface S dash. Now the surface S dash is located two charges, and your Gaussian surface is enclosed by the two charges. Now what is the net flux at here? The net flux to the surface at dash, which is equal to, so here we need to mention charge, it is total charge. It is what is the quantity of the total charge upon by epsilon naught. Since the Gaussian surface is enclosed both positive charge and the negative charge, so to write the net flux, in this net flux, we need to add the total charge. Suppose in this case, if Q2 equal to Q3, the magnitude of the charge Q2 equal to Q3, in this case only, if you precisely take the total charge, you can add charge algebraically. So the total charge will becomes 0. So obviously the total flux will becomes 0. Even though the charge Q4 is close to the charge Q2, there is no effect of the net flux because the charge Q4 is outside the Gaussian surface. It do not interrupt the net flux through which we have chosen. So this is the extension concept to as a Gauss's law. If you can say that once. So because of these multiple charges, if you can say the net flux through any closed surface depends only on the charge inside the surface. So through the surface S, what is the net flux? It is only depends upon the charge which is inside the surface. It do not depends upon the charge Q4 because Q4 is outside the Gaussian surface we have selected. And at here, the net flux through surface S is Q1 by epsilon naught. Yeah, because it is only enclosed by the charge Q1. And the net flux to the surface S dash through this S dash is Q2 plus Q3 because this second surface is enclosed by the two charges and we need to add that as a total charge, or we can represent that Q net and enclosed. These words are the very important. Upon epsilon naught to write the net electric flux. And the third surface S double dash, so the net flux to the surface S double dash is 0. Yeah, it's 0 because in the surface no charge enclosed. So these are the conditions to satisfy how to apply the Gauss's law. So in the next concept we will in detail apply the Gauss's law to different charged surfaces. So then we can easily calculate the what is the net flux. Once you can calculate the net flux, so we can easily calculate relate the what is the amount of the charge present on it. Once you can find out the amount of the charge, we can easily find out the electric field and we can easily find out the force. So this is the importance of the Gauss's law.